Oh, hi. Welcome back to my channel. After my egg carton video the other day, I've got a lot of feedback on other things to put into the egg carton shells or into the holes to make it burn a little easier, a little hotter, and maybe make it light a little easier. So stay tuned. Just finishing up cutting up some balsa wood again. I put those in the bottom of the egg carton holes. Showed those in my previous video. They burn nice and hot. I'm also going to use some more twine. As the egg carton fire starters are burning, you can actually see the ends of the twine lighting up. It burns really slow, like a million little wicks in the melted wax. And the melting wax. Got some feedback on maybe adding some Vaseline and some cotton balls, or put Vaseline on the dryer lint and kind of embed that inside of the waxed egg carton. So I'm going to give that a try. I haven't done it before. You'll be the first to see the results. There we go. Enough of that twine, and this stuff burns really good. I'm using the double boil method again to melt some wax to use in my new egg carton fire starters. Stay tuned to see what's different. If you watched my previous video on the egg carton fire starter, you'll remember that I put all the contents in, all the burnables in, and then filled it up with wax. This time I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to put some wax in the hole first to kind of seal it. When that cools, it'll create a seal at the bottom of the wax. It was pretty much impossible to do with one hand on the phone and one hand on the egg carton. So what I did is I poured wax in all of the cups, rotated it around, made sure it was all even, and then I dumped the rest back into the molten bowl. What I want to do here is just create a seal on the bottom of the egg carton. And I'm getting ready for the next step. Stay tuned. As you can see, I put the cut up balsa in the bottom. I like it down there. I'm going to just stuff in some of the twine. Sometimes I include wick from the candles that I melted, but this time it's just the twine. All right, I won't make you watch all of it. So the idea is to take some Vaseline, put it in with the dryer lint. I'm just mushing it around. One of the side benefits of making these is you get soft and supple skin on your fingers. That's important. Keep that in mind. And then just cram it down in there. There. We'll get another one done here. And I promise I won't make you look at all 12 of them. There. All right. That's basically how I'm going to do the remaining 10. Push it down in. I've got my belly button lint here, and I've got the Vaseline ready to go. All right, so that step is finished. Just to review, took an empty paper or pressed cardboard egg carton. I cut off the lid, in the bottom, I melted some wax just to create a seal. Then on the inside, I put some wood, some balsa, and some twine, stuff that burns really nice. And then I used belly button lint with Vaseline all mixed in, and I put that in there. That's what's on top here. That's what you can see now. It looks kind of messy. I don't know if you can see, but if anyone has a suggestion on how to not to get the lint and the Vaseline all over everything, please let me know. My next step is to put a lid in here, but different from what I did last time. Last time I just put a lid on just so there was kind of a cap on it. This time I want to try to create an empty spot, or empty space inside the egg carton that the wax does not get to. So I'm going to actually cut the lids so they push in and actually kind of create a seal. I'll then top it off with the wax. It should be lighter because the other version is basically a solid candle. This one should be a hollow candle with the lint and some Vaseline on the inside. I'm hoping be able to crack it open, expose the lint, use flint and steel to light it. We'll have to see how that works. So I've got some lightweight construction paper cut up, just pushing it down in. It's not going to be pretty at all. I guess it's okay if it's pretty, but you're going to burn it up, so it doesn't matter. All right. So then I'll finish up the other side over here, and we'll pour some wax on the top. We're back up in the kitchen. I have some molten wax here. Let that drip off a little bit. Now the goal here now is not going to be to fill it up, but instead to put a coating around the edge. And that doesn't mean I won't fill it up, but in the previous video, that was my intention, to fill it as full as I could with wax. And that extra wax, a lot of that was just extra weight. Didn't really help. So I'll continue to play with this, and I'll show you my end results. One of the things I wanted to show you was that because I'm not trying to fill it up, I got myself a little craft stick or a little tongue depressor thing, and I'm spreading the wax around to make sure it gets to all the areas that I want sealed. I don't want water to be able to leak in around the edges and get the lint wet, because that would make it hard to light. All right, so it's almost done. Well, I finished putting the wax into the Egg Carton Fire Starter. Remember, inside is some of the belly button lint along with some Vaseline. I initially poured just a thin coating of wax on the inside, so it'll give it kind of a bowl of wax to keep everything dry on the inside. My goal is to be able to push my thumb through the wax and open it up like an egg. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. There's a little bit too much wax on there, but remember, always cut away from yourself. That didn't take much to pop it open with my knife. And I'm in the basement, so in a few minutes you'll see me in the garage. We're going to light this one up and see what happens. Welcome back to my garage. I am going to light this, and we'll see how long it burns. Since we got it to light right away, I'm going to put this on time lapse so you don't have to watch it for the whole time. I'll be right back. Well, I know I told you last time that watching fire starters burn for 20-25 minutes was kind of boring. What I can tell you is that watching this fire starter burn for only 15 minutes was not quite as boring. It was only boring for 15 minutes. It did burn up. The residual was the same as last time. The ashes left over from the carton, a little bit of unburned lint. So that would go away and just go into the ashes of the fire. So I'm not seeing a problem there. If somebody does know about problems with either the Vaseline or the wax being part of the remains or leftovers of a campfire, let me know. Be interesting to know. The egg cartons with the lint and the Vaseline, the ones I made today, weighed 10 grams less than the ones that were jam-packed with combustibles and filled solid with the wax. It's about 1/3 of an ounce, and so it's not that much weight savings, but I do like to save weight when I can. I also don't need 20 minutes or 25 minutes to get a fire started. If I can't get a fire going in 15 minutes off of a fire starter, I have some other problem. I didn't build the proper raft. My tinder is too big, or maybe it's wet. I don't have enough kindling. Something else is going on if I can't get a fire going in 15 minutes. So I think I'm going to try to lean towards building those or creating those fire starters with the lint and with the Vaseline in them. Lighter is better usually. I do carry a Bic lighter with me all the time. That's part of my 10 essentials, but I like to use a spark lighter. I think that's a little bit more fun. It works in wet, so I like to be proficient with that. And so I don't know, how do you start fires? What do you bring with you? Maybe you don't have fires. So let me know. It'd be interesting to know. Do you use char cloth? I use char cloth quite a bit. If you'd like, let me know down below and I can show you how I make the char cloth and then how I use it to start a fire. So you've actually seen me make about 24 fire starters. You've seen me burn up a few, but I've got a couple dozen fire starters here. What do I do with them is one of the questions I got. Good question. I'm still actively involved in my son's scout troop. He eagled out about 6-7 years ago, but I enjoy working with the youth, and I'm one of the high adventure leaders with the troop. And so I'm going out all the time with them, multiple times a year. I always take 2 fire starters with me. What I also do is give them out as rewards when the patrols have a competition. One patrol comes and they're dressed in their Class A uniforms and they look the best. Each one of them gets a fire starter. Not that big of an expensive treat, but it gets them out and they know how to use them then too. I also go out with the scouts. I go out probably 4 to 8 times a year, going to camp out with the scouts. The fire starters go along with me there. Separate from them, I do a week on the Appalachian Trail every year. This summer I'm going to do a month. Last summer I thru hiked the King's Trail in Sweden, and so the fire starters go with me. Let's see. Anything else about fire starters that you're interested in? Any questions you have for me? Just let me know down below. If you do like the video, let me know. Make comments. Anything I can improve, I sure appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. See you later. Bye.